Yeah. I mean, when you want to grow out your hair or your beard, it's normal. Hear what I'm saying? It's normal that it's gonna feel awkward. It took me, now this is my second attempt. And now I feel more like I can do this with the long hair. I simply had to probably find a partner also that supports it. You know. Or I had to simply allow myself. Yeah, in between there were just some women, and I think they kind of like tried to change me. You have to acknowledge this. Women can do this to you. So you have to first, before you enter a relationship, I'll say you just really have to be yourself. You have to really know, oh wow, yeah, that's who I am, you know? Because they can make you forget. Believe me, I have witnessed it. And I find it a disaster that women think, you know? They really like, they enter into a relationship with you and then they say, yeah, I'm gonna get that guy to change, you know? I'm gonna make him my toy. And that can be anyone, including your mother and whatever, you know? Why can't they just let you be free, you know? They don't like to, you know? Because they're not free, they don't like you to be free either. Okay, this is gonna be a twofold cooking session. It's not gonna be cooking. I'm gonna make myself some ceremonial cacao again, but this time, because I haven't eaten since, I always have to get through this uncomfortable feeling of hunger, which to my mind is absolutely worth doing. And now I'm gonna make some, not the tzatziki that you, oh wow, yes! Sorry, it's just super awesome to have ideas and to be able to do it, because nobody, you know, you can just do whatever you want in terms of food. And I mean it, because you let go of these ideas you used to have. Okay, where's the item? Okay, this is algae. This is, well, it says, okay, it's a powder, it's a specific type of grass. So grass, like, not weed or whatever you're thinking. It's called Hordeum vulgare. Yeah? Hordeum vulgare. And it is, well, what does it say here? Yeah, it's just something that has good, it's for vitality or something. It doesn't really say, it just says, you know, this is how you can take it. I like the taste, I just never know, because I usually don't like making smoothies for whatever reason. I mean, I'm not a smoothie guy. I like to cook guy. You know, I like eating and drinking teas. Now, this needs garlic, because I have garlic and I need to use it. That's the idea of buying things. You buy stuff and then you have to use it. So I don't usually throw stuff away. I don't throw spices away. I don't throw this away, although I never knew what to do with it. Now I'm starting to pick up again. Because this is a life I tried to start building it You know, I tried to build this life already before, but it didn't stick, it didn't cling, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Well, I can tell you why it didn't work. Because A, I was lacking support. B, I was lacking experience. C, I was lacking stability. D, I was lacking insights. Maybe in E, I was lacking resolve. And to me, the resolve, I don't care about that one. Okay, what I care about is now this is about diet, eating and food. Now, I had to get used to eating differently. Like I had to get used to living without sugar. And that is really hard because for most of my life, there was this one thing that I always ate, and it was sugar. It was in everything. And if it wasn't in something, then I either added it or I got it later. But you can count on it. I mean, what got me through school during those days were, like candy. Eucalyptus, these pastilles like a bonbon. That got me through school then. I had usually 5 per day. That's just, sucking on sugar. I never really had problem with my teeth though, which I find a miracle. Which is why it was so hard for me to understand later why I should eat, why I couldn't keep eating sugar. That became a real problem. Well, I think at some point I simply got more attention. And that's what a lot of people underestimate, that if you get more attention, then you have to channel more energy, because focus and attention direct energy. So the more, let's say, you start growing, this is a bit like, okay, you see the child and you don't know what is he going to turn into, and then you get older and suddenly people realize, wow, that guy, he got something, he's tough or something, he's got some kind of inner strength. And then they start to, they try to test you. Why do they try to test you? To prove to themselves that they are stronger or smarter or tougher or whatever, right? They just they're going to use you to prove to themselves that they are as awesome as they have told themselves they are. Which is why when you're somewhere else and you're trying to do something and you're actually quite good at it, people will always barge in and stop you. And that's a fact. I mean, that's just a fact. So you have to start looking for the qualities you like to hone and then do it by yourself. Don't take anyone, just do it. As soon as somebody starts telling you how to do it, you just shut them off and then you never invite them again. That was my approach. So if you want to cook, and you're good at cooking, and people constantly come and, annoy you with their insecurities, you think, oh yeah, they're super insecure. It is more likely that they don't want you to be better than them. And they're probably trying to push insecurities onto you, right? Often people tell you how you should feel, or they act like they know how you feel, or something like this. Anyway, you have to stop people from getting into your mind and placing thoughts there. Because in a sense, there is no reason to utter their insecurities out loud. They could just work with them silently and get better at it. So that's what you have to understand. People aren't really nice these days. Because people nowadays, they aren't so much about community. They are mostly about being better than everyone else. And some people get better by keeping other people worse. So, I don't know. Their focus is they're always distracted by their desire to, I don't know what. It's also possible that they've just got too much darkness. Because a lot of people, every time I try to give them light, they try to reject it. Which is what made me think, well, either I am, I've just got the light. Because that's what I've realized. Some people didn't want the light. They didn't want to see themselves more clearly. Because every time I shine light on something, it means work. And then it starts to annoy them. And they either change it or they keep it that way. So I simply started to believe that there are some people who are more like demonic, and some people who are more like whatever gives the sun. So some people are more like merchants, and they live through something else, I don't know. And then there's people who are a bit like just the sun, and other people circle around it. I don't know, it's just really super hard to explain, but that's the idea of the guru. Once you reach some state of enlightenment and you just start doing things which just makes absolute sense to you, and you start really cleansing, and you sometimes feel like there's like light shining out of your butt, but you also adjust your diet, because otherwise you would be too dark. That was probably my problem most of my life, that nobody ever told me how to get out of these tight spots. So I had to look for information. But one thing I started doing already when I was younger was cooking. And the only thing I really learned from my mother was making cakes. So in the beginning, I just started making all this sweet stuff, probably also in a way to please my mother, like cakes and tarts and that kind of stuff. That's how I started. And then at some point, it was no longer what I wanted. So I learned to properly cook during my studies. And, everyone just rejected my food, although it was already quite good. But a lot of people just rejected it. A lot of people, they just said, nah, I don't want to eat it. Or you ask them, are you hungry? And then they say no, and then they eat it anyway. It's just like ravenously. Just makes no sense. So one thing you still have to do as a cook or a chef or whatever, you have to be clean. Like, I don't know. You just have to keep yourself clean. Because what people ultimately eat is then, in a sense, yourself. And that's probably hard to understand. Okay, chopping this as fine as you can is a really nice challenge. So I'm not just gonna do this now. This is for later, maybe tomorrow. You can let this stand 2 days in the fridge. I'm just talking about the complications of wanting to cook and then living with people that want to stop you from actually being good at cooking, just because they like to see people fail. No matter what they say, sometimes you just have to get people out of the kitchen. Or you have to work towards having your own space and then cooking in that. So I can cook much more freely now and experiment freely, because nobody comes and looks at the food and says, what's this? That's what a lot of people do. They kind of spit on your food inside their minds. And that ruins the whole thing. But of course, cooking is also supposed to be quiet time. Mostly. It doesn't have to be enforced. You shouldn't be overly aggressive about your cooking practices, right? I don't know, if somebody wants to add something and you know they know what they're doing, then they can. But, you know, they first have to show you. They have to prove it to you. Otherwise, why would you listen to them or let them add something to the food? I think I like it that way. If you trust each other, I think cooking together can be nice. You know, you add something, somebody else adds something, and you just go along with it. It's like living together in an apartment. I mean, you have to open up to such things. That somebody comes and just starts doing things. It's like your wife, okay, you want her to be your wife. It's not just some random wench from a tavern. It's just looking at Conan the Barbarian. Said he mostly had sex with tavern wenches. I thought, yeah, he should have just looked for a real woman. Instead of paying for easy rides. I don't like women that are awfully desperate. I don't like women that really want to possess me or something. Because they think it makes them look better. You should be doing well on your own. And that's the kind of woman you look for. May not be like that when you meet her, but maybe later. Okay, it doesn't really matter. I'm just cooking. I do this because I want to eat. And this is tomorrow, it's already ready, and then I can eat it for, depending on how much I'm going to eat of it, 3 to 4 or 5 days. It's going to support most of my meals. It's going to give me, because it's 10% fat yogurt, it's like Greek style yogurt. It's going to support, you know, it's going to... You can eat this with curries. You can eat this on bread. You can eat this with potatoes, which is probably what I'm going to do at least once. You can eat this with all kinds of foods. Okay. Now, of course, I really wanted to put it in. But for stuff like tzatziki, this should be really finely sliced. Okay, I think that's enough. Sometimes I feel like I'm eating for 10 people or something. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna mix it all because I know myself, otherwise I'm just gonna stuff myself with it. So sometimes I have to restrict myself with eating food because Jesus, this is gonna be weird. Okay, this is okay, not the parsley, you know, this other stuff. Wheatloaf or something. I think that's how it's called. Or maybe that's the Dutch word. But this is kind of like grass type of, a bit like onion, spicy stuff. Okay, lots of garlic. I think it says it lowers the blood pressure. So you can do everything with diet. Everything. You can bring up the heat, you can cool yourself. Yogurt is more cooling. And coffee and all that stuff just brings up the heat, but too much heat will dissolve you. I think my problems probably started when I got into coffee more and more. I mean, it brought up the heat all right, but the price was too heavy to pay. Okay, I have to rinse my hands. Okay, I've done a lot of things today. It's nice. If you haven't seen it all, maybe I showed you about 50%. Less. Certainly less. Okay, first I have to mix this in. You see how the garlic has to seep into the food. But I already have some cooking bananas that I will cook with this week, I think. Just to make sure they don't go off. But usually they last quite some time. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna add. This is gonna be weird for people. Super weird. But I don't care, to be honest. I'm just gonna say, hey, it's good for you. Plus, I don't have to do this all the time. But I don't know. I think if somebody cooks, you ought to appreciate it, or you have to cook yourself. But this is about more than just, I mean, it's gonna give you everything you need. Right? I mean, what's the point of living in a commune if you cannot open up to eating algae or something? It's just my idea. You should really open up to eating different kinds of food. Plus, this is not gonna be staple or anything, right? You're not gonna have to eat algae every day. It's just, I think it can be included. It's like Asian style. If you can eat sushi, then you can eat algae in yogurt. I'm just saying. So stay away from your, your ideas like, yeah, I mean, algae and sushi, that I get. But algae in this or this type of food? No, thank you. It's like, why? Why? Okay, this is ground white pepper. I was given it, so I'm using it. Garlic is also, of course, already also spicy. Okay, I think that's basically it. Okay. Chili oil, olive oil with chili. You can make it yourself. Just take some dried chili, put it in there, let it sit. You can do the same with garlic. Doesn't have to be dried garlic. I mean, this week I just want to do a bit less stressful in terms of YouTube. Because I cannot do this all the time, just go all out and stuff. I mean, sometimes you just want to do what you do anyway. Just do it at home. Okay. Wow, now I'm hungry actually. But sometimes you can push through by drinking like ceremonial cacao or just a strong cacao containing beverage. Oh yeah, that was missing. Ow. Vinegar. This is like white wine vinegar. What did I just say, man? I do know that I said something. Yeah. A strong beverage containing ceremonial cacao. I want to make a... Actually, I want to create like a danceable music set, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna manage. Wow, super creamy, man. Okay, just trying. It's nice. Wow, this is really nice. Nice. So you don't have to put lots of algae in there. Wow. Now imagine that tomorrow. Wow. I love food. It's just that's the kind of food we need, right? So forget all this vegan stuff. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I think it's unnatural. Wow, this is amazing. 1 kilo Greek style yogurt. You can this is really spirit food. For, I don't know. If I would be living in the Amazon rainforest, it probably would be harder to get your hands onto yogurt or whatever. But okay, this is the pot I already used. I'm just gonna use it again without cleaning it. Okay, you can also put a... I think I'm going to leave it like this now. But I could put... one lime, the juice of one lime. Okay, ceremonial cacao. I'm just gonna do it with milk because I saved it for this specific purpose. And I usually, you know, I'm not shy, but I may be reserved, right? So people may think, oh, he's just shy. No, just not interested in that. So that's how some people talk themselves into, oh, he's just shy, you know, once I get him. It's like, no, I'm not shy. I'm just not interested, you know. I'm not sure if you get that. It's different. You know, because if you come too close, I have to set some boundaries. You're not going to like that. Because I'm going to ruin your self-image that you created, you know. I'm extremely sexy. Well, to me, you're not. To me, you're a bit disgusting. How can you say that? I don't know. I told people before that I kind of find them ugly. And then they were like, yeah. And in the end, I knew. Which isn't, you know, but it just gave me a lot of experience. Which is why I know who to stay away from. I think I let go of aluminium foil. Because I think it's not good. Okay, let's see. I have pallets of Peruvian raw cacao. You know, I found it for per kilo 37 euros. Because I really had to save some money. Plus, I also just like to work with the stuff that I find, I don't know. Why should I pay more? Because some people, they just get a bit greedy and then they keep asking more and more money. And I really don't like that. I despise it. Okay, you cannot... Yeah, my book prices are changing, right? I do adapt. I first had to... I felt like I had to make them a bit more expensive. Okay, one Christopher-sized hand. I'm gonna make this... I don't know, sometimes I just make things too strong. Or so I've been said. So, you know, I shouldn't... Because I am a bit struggling financially, or I think I am, not sure. My life is yeah, giving me certain limitations so I can figure out how to lead a good life without overindulging myself. So when there should come a time when there is more money available than anyone will ever need, this is black pepper, then I know how to lead a good life with almost no money at all. So you have to know the bare necessities. That's what you have to learn. How much do you need? And I've learned that. But you have to always remind yourself. Okay. Now, just gonna put in some cinnamon. A bit fire. Because cinnamon is actually heat. It's really spicy. And it's not really spicy, but it brings up the heat. So also don't overindulge yourself in cinnamon. This is a mixture. This is like a bit like garam masala. Cinnamon, cloves, piment, nutmeg, coriander, cardamom, ginger. Just like a stand. You can do this yourself. But at the moment I have this. And when it's empty, I'm gonna mix it myself. And then you can just make a large batch and store it. Okay. I have some, like a tiny bit of nutmeg left. I have more. So yeah, there's no point in complaining, it's just a waste of time. When you're bored, you complain, so just make sure you're not getting bored. Okay, these pieces that are too small to grind, you know what I can do with them? I can put them with the pepper. Sometime. Not now, but later. Okay. Now something else that I need. Some type of whisk. Oh wow, that smells good. Yeah, sometimes it's a bit weird if I don't put that much chocolate into it. Well, this is raw cacao, it's not chocolate. Chocolate is if you separate it. Chocolate is if you separate the cacao, the bean, you heat it up or something, and then you separate the butter and the powder. Which is why it says always on the powder like de-oiled. Raw cacao is different. It hasn't been separated. It's just the bean that I think they kind of grind it and then they put it into pellets, or so it hasn't been super strongly heated. So yeah, I don't add extra sugar. The milk already is sweet enough. It's full cream milk. I kind of stopped using all these vegan milk alternatives because I think they're quite toxic. Or you could say milk is toxic. Well, I'm not so sure. They're just too sweet. All these, I mean, okay, almond milk is not that sweet, but you can make it yourself, right? You could make your own almond milk. So you stir it, and then it becomes one substance. And it's going to give you enough energy to push yourself through maybe some hardship. But don't get used to it. Don't do it every day. Don't do it occasionally when it gets too heavy. And when cacao is saying do it now, right? I mean, but if it says it every day, then maybe do it for some time, I don't know. But you will get heartburn from this as well. I'm just saying, that's my experience. Overindulging yourself in anything will always stop having the effect that it had in the beginning. Okay, what cup do I wish to drink this from? That used to be my ceremonial cup. Okay, you don't want to boil this. This is already to some people quite thick, but I like it that way. You know, there's no point. You know, I rather drink it once in a while, strong enough. Okay, I'm just gonna pour the rest in here and then take more as needed. So sometimes I need a bit more because I'm quite strong. So if I want to break through to myself, then sometimes I need to really push. Because now I need a new experience with something. Okay. And now I can have a nice evening. I know if I feel like eating, I can. But sometimes it's better to just stretch out the time you will eat, you know? But if you feel like, okay, I think I'm gonna drown, then just eat. Things about yeah, I'm looking for the lid of this. I don't know where it is. It's gone again, right? Or I'm gonna write. It's potentially yeah, maybe I'm just gonna write. I can do the music thing later. And that's then a personal choice. Wow, where is it? Where could it be? Yeah. Hard to say. This is so weird. Sometimes it just happens like this. You just don't know where it is. Then you say, you know what? This is long enough. There it is. It's in the wash. It's actually not dirty. So we'll just put it on top. Okay, cheers.